A great artist always knows that the energy flows through them. I believe the human part moves aside and allows God energy comes through me and starts making my stuff. And the reason I'm a great artist, I know how to move over and let that energy come through me. And that's what people feel when they get close to my dresses or great art. The energy of the person making it comes out and they get drawn in, and they're not really sure why, but I believe great art comes spiritually. I would call my work my art, and I do art and fashion using different mediums. I started by one of my friends gifted me 4 lessons to learn Indian beaded earrings. And even then, when I started to learn that, I was still adding Swarovski and making them, instead of traditional, more modern and pretty. And those are my 4 classes I've ever taken. Beading is actually learned by practice. And that's what I did. I beaded incessantly from the minute I started. And then I have been gifted with this ability to do this. That's what I believe. I began collecting beads 24 years ago. I'd been diagnosed in 1989 with keratoconus, and while I was beading, my cornea ruptured. And then the next year, also ruptured. All of a sudden, your sight's just gone, and I was unable to bead for about 5 years. I just really wanted to stay connected with beads. And I collected beads, becoming the connoisseur, the rarest beads, and then overnight, from 3 surgeries, I saw 20/20, and then I had this awesome collection, and I started beading with that. These are all vintage beads from Germany in the 1940s and 50s. And what I do then is pour them out, and then I divide each of them into a color, and each bead is touched, and that's because I'm pulling energy back and forth for them to know I'm going to start using them, and me to get in my mind what colors I have. Because once I start, I don't stop. All my dresses that I come up with, I actually see them before I start. It's a vision that comes in very quickly. And since I don't sketch or draw or do mathematical calculations, it's that 1 second of seeing the dress. Then I go through and I see what beads I can match, and then pull them out of all the different compartments and put them all together, and then I start working. There are millions of beaders, and there are even more people that sew. And no one is doing fully beaded dresses like me. And to be an artist, you have to find a niche of what nobody else is doing.
This is the holy grail of my whole business. This is like the holy sanctuary, basically our temple or church that we keep the beads. I work with many different textures and style of beads. I like to work with vintage because of the energy of that, and they are pristine. That means no one's worn them. They're from the original packages. This is just a very small amount of my vintage beads. These are the oldest that you could get ones, made in Austria. And I feel very honored every time I'm doing these packages, because that's the joy of doing and being able to get what I've got. And I get to do this all the time, and I do not take it for granted. But when you open this, these beads are now 80 to 90 years old.
For me, I feel like I've been keeper of the beads, and the way I kept them was to put them into dresses. This is a silver star flower, and this is the first piece that was ever made. Silver star flower being my first piece, I started it and didn't stop. This is the outfit that Lady Gaga wore with Tony Bennett on their new CD. Anything goes. The entertainment industry, I decided, was really going to be my beginning goal, and the end goal being in museums. Garden of Eden took 4 years, and she's really my favorite. And now that I know I can make these dresses, I thought, how am I going to get the world to pay attention to them? Fantasy is the white wedding dress with the most amount of beads. She's 400 pounds, 21 and a half foot train, 18 and a half feet long. She's made by 23 women over 3 years. So Fantasy was specifically made to leave a great, great, great piece of art for centuries. And I think she's one of the most amazing pieces of art in the world.
Hi, how's it going?
Well, we're doing the placement of the crystal belt.
When I first started, most of my pieces were taking over a year. And there's no way I could put together enough if my goal was to be doing museums. And my team and I worked together to try to learn different parts of dresses or making them up.
You see how that fabric takes away from the pleating of that center?
And
versus
plus,
if
it
we
makes the
have-
cups look like cups. We gotta use it. We'll do a diamond in
So it
between.
looks like, yeah.
Diamond,
has that
diamond, diamond, diamond.
I work with design people that really don't know how to bead, but they have a desire to be creative. And most of them have a background in either making jewelry or making dresses, and usually both, and hand sewing.
So what I would do right now for me is get a piece of paper in there and draw me that.
The shape? Okay.
When I go to the studio, I'm helping my team on each part of their project that they're doing. I teach them how to put things together, but they're creative on their own. Okay, here she comes. The fabric looks fantastic. I'm so glad it's on there finally. Yay, look at how pretty she is. This will be all solid beads, so when this gets up on the red carpet, it will just explode. Temptress, because she has fabric, is the first dress that we are trying to get on the red carpet with. This looks like a million cameras going off, and this is in semi-dark. This comes on with a spotlight in full dark. It's insane. I started doing fabric a year ago because a company in LA had called me and wanted Eden for the Grammys. And I said, you can't sit in it. You can't walk down the runway. It's heavy. And if you want to be in this business, they've got to sit down for award shows and they have to be able to walk the red carpet.
This is more of that blue. Or that's
It's getting too blue. This is how we work. We design all night into the wee hours of the night. Then I go bead because I bead at night. I get up, we have dinner, and then we start in all over again. But we work about 15-hour days. When you're going to do something great, you need to jump off a cliff and believe you're going to be shown. The reason I bead by myself at night is that there are no interruptions. The real beading for me is in private. The reason I keep making my dresses and doing this is to leave them for the world. I think it's a complete waste when you have been gifted abilities to not use them. And so I feel a responsibility to do that. And out of all that, fortunately, I really love to bead. So every day that I'm beading or every night, I give thanks for allowing me to do something I love.